From its modest beginnings as a religious charity venture in 1982 to its being the largest scheme of its kind in the UK, Milton Keynes Recycling goes from strength to strength. The setting up of Britain's most extensive curbside collection scheme for household recyclables began in June 1990, the year the government announced that local councils would be required to recycle a quarter of all household waste by the year 2000. For Milton Keynes Borough Council, plans were already underway that would position Milton Keynes at the forefront of UK municipal recycling operations and which would enable it to achieve this target 6 years early. With the support of TV personality and environmentalist Bill Oddie and the combined voice of a group of enthusiastic local school children, the pilot door-to-door collection scheme was launched to 5,500 homes in the north of the city on June the 4th, 1990. Their song extolled the virtues of living in a greener Milton Keynes, a fact that becomes immediately noticeable to first-time visitors to the borough. The next stage of the plan was to extend the scheme to all 75,000 homes. By 1992, a staggering 50,000 of them were separating their household waste materials at source for collection by one of 11 specialised vehicles operated by the council's contractor, Municipal Cleansing Services. As many UK councils are barely putting their recycling plans into action, Milton Keynes is already on target. And flying the flag for municipal recycling in Britain is this purpose-built, integrated materials recycling facility at Wolverton in the north of the city. By October 1992, land had been acquired from the Commission for New Towns, and construction commenced on Britain's first self-contained materials recycling facility. The mild winter of 1992 made the going that much easier for contractor Trafalgar House Construction, and by March 93 the facility was beginning to take shape. The full enclosure of the main part of the site meant that interior work could commence rapidly. With the two massive concrete weighbridges already in place at the rear of the site, the construction of the weighbridge office was, like most of the development, ahead of schedule. The distinctive blue continuous loop conveyors and handling systems are a feature of a leading Dutch systems supplier and are designed to facilitate a high degree of automation in the sorting of household recyclables. The design brief, as set by the borough's own engineers and architect, was for a system that would be adaptable for use in sorting and compacting a wide range of materials. This would include steel and aluminium cans, several types of plastic of varying shapes and sizes, paper, cardboard and laminated drinks cartons. The centre would be managed under contract to the council by Crop Limited, the Community Recycling Opportunities Programme, the city's original recycling organisation, whose existing premises at Kiln Farm were far outgrown and inadequate, and from where it would have been impossible to put into effect the expansion plans. Soon after commissioning in November 1993, the centre had enabled the collection and processing of in excess of 180 tonnes per week. That represents an annual figure of 10,000 tonnes. The design of the centre, with 2 independent conveyor lines and compactor balers, is such that, if run on a round-the-clock basis, the output could rise to as much as 100,000 tonnes. The loads of over 30 vehicles entering the site each day are weighed, with the relevant information being logged into the computer system. Materials arrive not only from within Milton Keynes, but from an increasing number of local authorities and waste management companies across the region. Glass bottles and jars in their 3 main colours are deposited into their respective bays prior to collection and recycling at a plant in the north of England, whilst other loads are deposited onto the tipping floor, which serves as a general reception area for mixed plastics and cans, as well as newspaper and cardboard. Prior to the opening of the MRF, cans and plastic bottles were placed into separate containers on the lorries. Now they are mixed and separated by the machinery. By far the largest recyclable element to enter the factory is newspaper and cardboard, accounting for almost half of all collections. Newspaper is put aside for collection by a waste paper contractor. Shredded office and computer paper, which are of a high fibre content and therefore highly acceptable for recycling, is processed and baled here. The 2 independent production lines are geared to handling paper and cardboard separately from the mixed plastic containers, drinks cartons and cans. In each case, the materials make their way under computer control from the tipping floor to the main area, where a variety of systems separate them into their respective categories prior to compacting and baling. The whole process uses an intricate network of loop conveyors which pass materials through a range of detection devices, some of which are state-of-the-art, others relying on simple laws of physics, such as a magnetic loop belt, which separates steel cans from non-magnetic aluminium cans. As each type of can travels off in its respective direction, plastics of all types are directed towards the sorting cabins. As there are many types of plastic which each require different recycling processes, it is essential that they are separated at this stage. Inside the sorting cabins, the mixture of plastics are subjected to the scrutiny of the human eye in the first part of the process. Here, operators can detect whether a plastic container is a PET or a PVC, an HDP or an LDP. With the scheme now collecting yoghurt cartons, food trays, margarine tubs and foil containers, the process must be able to accurately identify each substance if quality is to be maintained. Plastics can be accurately graded as they pass through this machine, called a vinyl cycle machine, which uses X-rays to detect the plastic type. It can identify up to 10 bottles per second. Here we can see a consignment of drinks cartons of the Tetra Pak and Tetra Brick variety, as they are directed towards one of 2 giant compactors for baling. Having passed through the sorting system, the various types of materials, steel, aluminium, plastics types, paper and so on, are baled and made available for loading onto lorries and delivery to the numerous recycling companies around the country who specialise in turning our used materials into new products. Such an extensive operation, turning out a consistently high-quality product, requires appropriate management and control systems if it is to run efficiently. The partnership between the Council and Crop is geared towards achieving this, along with the other commercial partners. One of Crop's main objectives is to educate and inform individuals and groups in the community on matters relating to recycling. To this end, the company plays host to a large number of groups throughout the year. The design of the materials recycling facility is such that, for instance, school children can come and take part in activities geared to learning about how and why common household materials are recycled. The Milton Keynes recycling facility has been designed with the wider community in mind. It's a user-friendly facility. Milton Keynes Recycling, flying the flag for community recycling.